Yeah, so today I would like to break down an idea that I've been thinking of for a long time. We'll just start from a intuition that we sort of all have, which is that being chronically online, in the sense of spending too much time scrolling on social media, specifically like scrolling reels and TikToks, is not something that's super, I wouldn't say virtuous, but like it doesn't make you someone classy, if that makes sense. It doesn't make you someone particularly refined, or it's not something cool to be indulging in excessively, even in small doses. It's just not great. It's not a noble form of entertainment. It's not a good way to kill your time. And I've been thinking of why. Strictly speaking, you could just say, well, it makes you dumber. Well, it's not particularly, it's not providing you with much value. You waste time, it's addictive. You could say all kind of stuff. But I think the best framework to sort of approach what makes a certain type of consumption of media be respectable and valuable, or just acknowledged as cool within our cultures, is the following. It's the ratio of time spent consuming to how much do you remember of it. For example, you watch a movie, it's like a 2 hour movie. You probably remember at least some key moments of the movie, and then you may or may not, but you probably are gonna talk about the movie with someone. You probably went to the movies with some friends. So like it provided you with an actual cultural value. The movie has a high cultural output ratio to time spent consuming the movie. Whereas when you spend time watching Reels or Instagram or TikToks, where you scroll for maybe like 2 hours and you probably don't remember much of the stuff you've just absorbed. You didn't really absorb it. It's really just, it was like a way to neutralize your thoughts, but it didn't really engage you in any way, shape, or form. I said in a tweet recently that the only cultural output that stemmed out of AI was like Italian brain rot stuff, like Bombardiro Crocodilo and like Tung Tung Sahur or whatever. I can't believe I'm saying these words outside in a video. But like I said, that the cultural output that AI has provided us with so far is either like brain rot, slop, or I don't even know what I said in the tweet, but basically what I'm trying to say is the ratio of how much time do you spend consuming to how much actual culture does it provide you with is what makes something cool to consume or not. And I'd go as far as talk about video games. I know that within the gaming community, there is like a sort of segregation between like the people who play solo video games, like story based video games, and there are like, I think that like the most popular genre of video games is like Call of Duty, Fortnite, online video game like Valorant, I don't know how you pronounce that, League of Legends, or all kind of multiplayer competitive games like FPSs and such. Whereas the story-based games, they're more niche, and you're sort of considered a diehard, a true like video games fan, if you're into solo video games. I would argue that, okay, this is gonna be like really controversial, but I would personally argue that solo video games are a more respectable or more valuable cultural consumption than competitive multiplayer video games, because out of the thousands of games or Fortnite games I have played, I can't really remember that many of them, right? Like we surely have spent some great moments with friends playing Fortnite, but like how many hours out of the thousands of hours I've put into Fortnite do count as culturally valuable compared to, for example, the 150 hours I spent in The Witcher 3, which I value a lot, and I've watched tons of content around The Witcher 3 on YouTube, and I've talked to people about The Witcher 3 on forums, on Reddit, and on Twitter. Same for Red Dead Redemption, or all like lots of other video games. So I think also, like, just more generally speaking, the anti-gaming sentiment exclusively exists for addictive video games, like which are also, like, most of the time I feel like when we talk about video game addiction, it's competitive FPSs, multiplayer, fast-paced video games, and not slow story-based video games and such. So I think that the framework with which we approach judging a certain type of consumption as bad and addictive, and cheap mostly depends on this ratio of how much time do you spend on this entertainment relative to how much cultural output does it provide you with. And the way to measure cultural output, I would say, is how many conversations does this particular consumption spark? Can you talk to people about it? How much of it do you remember? Actually, this is the most important one of them, I think. How memorable is this specific type of consumption when you can remember vividly a game? I feel like my most intense memories spent gaming all come from solo video games with like a few moments here and there of Fortnite with friends. And like, ironically speaking, like I think this reinforces my point. Even like the best moments I spent playing Fortnite, they come from me socializing, playing Fortnite. Meaning that like the best moments playing Fortnite happened because we were like in a chat, like how do you call it, like we were playing together with friends, and it was fun because of the interaction with friends. So in this specific instance, even the good memorable stuff I got from Fortnite has a social element to it, and everything social is usually also cultural. At least that's how I think of it. So yeah, that is my framework for what makes a certain type of consumption. I wouldn't say valuable and respectable in absolute terms. I retract what I said before, but at least I feel like this is how we tend to think of what is acceptable to consume as a society, even though like the rules are not written, but it sort of feels like it. So yeah, that's how I approach it. I'm not judging like in any way. Like I'm not saying definitively speaking like this is good consumption, this is bad consumption. That's just how I sort of model how culture usually reacts, and like how does it sort of segregate between bad and good consumptions. So yeah, that was it. That was pretty long, 7 minutes and 30 seconds.